some stuff that came up on the 32 Thoughts podcast from Elliot Friedman and Jeff Merrick here on what's going on with the Ducks. So at the time they recorded their episode, the Ducks had played 7 games and obviously had not done very well in those 7 games. One 5-1 record. So, and us included, Ducks Twitter, people all over social media are calling for Dallas Eakins to be fired. And this is not maybe necessarily going to be a conversation on if he should be fired, because we talked about that on the last episode. But Friedman's, argument was like, Dallas Eakins shouldn't be judged on the first 7 games of the Ducks season. He should be judged at, say, the 40-game halfway point, the 60-game point, the 80-game mark. See, has there been improvement? Like, have the Ducks improved over the start of the season to the 40-game point? Yes or no? From 40 to 60, have they improved? Yes or no? And then 60 to the end of the season, have they improved? Yes or no? Which I think is a fair point. But immediately what comes to mind is the Ducks have had Dallas Eakins as their head coach for not just 7 games this season. It's been 3 years prior, right? But Friedman also argued, like, the team has undergone a huge identity change from the beginning of when we did this show and Dallas Eakins' tenure in 2019 to now. And not even just that, from last season, beginning of last season to beginning of this season, team is totally different in terms of identity and the roles that a lot of players have. Getzlaf, our captain, retired. That's a huge shoe to fill. Lindholm and Manson, huge parts of the defensive core for the last couple of years, were traded with no direct replacements for them. Raquel and Delorier were traded. Again, Raquel, goal-scoring winger, didn't really replace him until the offseason. Delorier, bottom 6, big fighting, heavy guy. We don't have that anymore. We lost Milano, big winger for Zegras. Like, we don't really have that guy with that chemistry yet anyways. So, like, that's a big change for this team between seasons.
Are the games that I'm looking at here are these next 3? We don't have to go super deep into them. We'll go into the one team in particular. San Jose, Vancouver, San Jose again. The San Jose games in particular, because Vancouver, I'm still sticking by for now my idea that Vancouver could be a playoff team, right? Could be in that top 3, because we saw once Bruce Boudreau took over last year, it is possible, right, for that team to be good as constructed. Yeah. It's very possible. So I'm holding my breath there. San Jose, though, we are supposed to be well above them. They've played more games, but their point percentage is better than us.
Yeah.
Right. And like, they've at least, they're doing better in the standings. If either of those games, especially if both of those games against San Jose in particular, are embarrassing losses, I don't care that you're going for Bedard. You can do it still with how the team is constructed, because it's not a great team. There's potential, but it's not a great team. You can do it with a different coach.
Yeah.
So it's not that we're judging after 7 games. It's that there's precedent for Dallas Eakins in similar situations with similar types of rosters, with similar things going on around and whatnot. If it's not embarrassing losses, we're having Eakins for the rest of the season, right? Yeah. Like that's where I'm saying it has to be embarrassing losses for him to get fired. And I think those games coming up against San Jose in particular are the ones that we're going to be looking at.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I agree for sure, because like look, while I agree with the whole identity thing that they were talking about here, you'll be able to tell after, we'll be 12 games, an eighth of the way through the season-ish, if this team has developed any sort of identity and guys stepping up into roles. And that's Eakins' job, is to establish that, right? So it's yeah, I think I agree with you there. But if the tables do start to turn, that's when you can maybe say, okay, we'll hit the 40, 60, 80
Yeah.
game marks. So
Yeah. If there's improvement and you're still losing, okay, whatever. But
Yeah.
if there's no improvement, like again, we keep talking especially about the defensive system, but we are talking more about the offense and how it just seems to be just generate chances, doesn't matter if they're good or bad kind of
Mhm.
thing, which good is better, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, if like the mentality around how you play, I guess, doesn't change, then it needs to. And it's not going to unless you get rid of him. So
Yeah. Like a Bruce Boudreau and a John Tortorella give teams an identity.
yeah.
Dallas Eakins is
The
like
Flyers should not be where the fuck they are right now.
Yeah.
But John Tortorella is able to get blood out of a stone.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that team is, where are they sitting right now? Last I saw, they were still like top 3 in their division.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty close. And like
The Philadelphia
Vancouver-
Flyers are currently sitting 2nd in the Metro.
Yeah.
By the way, for New Jersey, that loss that we had against them kickstarted them to becoming 1st in the Metro as of today.
I think that was the start of a win streak for them, honestly.
Yeah, they are 6-3-0 now.
Yeah, and they started 0-3. So
Detroit is in a playoff spot currently, 4-2-2. The Islanders are in a playoff spot right now, 5-4-0.
sorry, 0-2, and then they won 3 games, lost to Washington, won the next 3 games. The Devils did.
Yeah.
So they've won since beating us. They've won 6-1.
Yeah. But like I name off those teams in particular because you're like, oh, they're in the playoffs, like they should be good teams. They're not supposed to be good.
No,
They're
but
not
they have-
supposed to be the
no.
teams that are there.
But they have an identity, right? And
Exactly.
like Vancouver is a bit of an outlier because they lost the first 7 games, but they still had an identity in those games. They just
Yeah.
like sucked at holding a lead, right? So
Yeah. And Boston,
it's-
especially, like that team has an identity that has stuck with them for years,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
They
exactly.
will out muscle you and they will outskill you if they have the chance.